Israel does not appear to be having a very good day. In fact, they seem quite upset about it. The UN Human Rights Council has released a long-delayed database containing a list of businesses that operate in the occupied Palestinian territories. In other words, now you would know exactly what companies are operating illegally on Palestinian land. The document lists 112 companies operating in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem and the Golan Heights. The vast majority of these are, of course, Israeli firms, and the number is significantly less than the 206 corporations hinted at when the database was initially floated about as possibly being released back in 2017. U.S. companies listed include Airbnb, Expedia, TripAdvisor, General Mills, Booking Holdings, and Motorola, while Dutch firms Cardin NV, Tahal Group, International BV, Booking.com, Antis Europe NV also find themselves on the list. The UK's JC Bamford Excavators, Opodo, Greencoat PLC make an appearance, as does France's Alstom and Aegis Rail. Israeli subsidiaries of the international business, including Delta and Remax, are also on the list. Some 76 other companies suspected of doing businesses in the illegally occupied areas did not meet the standard of proof and thus were omitted. Now, of course, the Israeli government did everything it could to oppose this list of being published. This is part of the ongoing battle they have with the boycott, divest, and sanction movement, also known as BDS, which Israel has been attacking and attempting to outlaw for some time now. Now, Israel claims that they have capitulated to the pro-Palestinian boycott, which is being led by BDS, who are seeking legal penalties for the crimes they commit against Palestinians. Now, its publication on Wednesday was, according to reports, it was in a very difficult place on the UN Human Rights Council website to find. They refer to it as a dark little corner that's very difficult to find. So I guess this is kind of like an accusation of trying to hide the list. And it was, of course, denounced most by the United States government, Israel's most strict ally. While the UN High Commission writes, Michelle Bassett stressed that this report does not provide a legal characterization of their activities in question. They're not saying that these businesses are doing anything wrong, just that they are the ones operating in this area, which is an odd thing to say given that these areas are illegal for Israel to occupy in the country. So here's a list of companies working in this area. Oh, by the way, this area is illegal. It seems like the UN is trying to word this so that Israel doesn't get the idea that they can sue them for defamation or something like that. You know how Israel normally acts when anybody criticizes them in any way, shape, or form. Now, not everyone reacting was opposed to the report's release. Human Rights Watch celebrated it as a long-awaited publication, wanted to do business with these settlements is to aid in the commission of war crimes, a sentiment that I would certainly agree with. Now, of course, the pro-Israeli media, that being, actual owned companies and people on social media, completely flew off the handle and started posting the picture of the little yellow stars that Nazis placed on Jews and saying that this was totally the same thing. Really. They really believe that by saying, here's this company that operates in this illegal area is the same thing as Polish ghettos or something? Polish Jewish ghettos? That's essentially what they're trying to claim. They claim that these privileged multi-million and sometimes multi-billion-dollar companies who are stealing Palestinian land are somehow comparable to Jews persecuted in the Holocaust. I mean, if you were going to create a caricature to make fun of them and how they would react, this is what you would do. When you become a parody of yourself, I don't know what to call that. Ad absurdum? I'm not even sure that there's even a term for something like that. And it shows how utterly disgusting they are. They're really going to take their privileged position where their jackboot is on the neck of the Palestinians, murdering them constantly, and then claim that they're the victims. This is totally nuts. And another person showed, the picture of the yellow stars. That those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Well, guess what? You already repeated it. Israeli treatment of Palestinians is, well, kind of very much similar to the way the Nazis treated Jews. History has already repeated itself, and you didn't learn from it. Just appreciate the irony on that one. And I love the pro-business, pro-Israeli community saying that this list shouldn't be put out because it's a blacklist, preventing people from it's like a blacklist, which is weird because it just gives people the option not to do business with them. But isn't that the point of capitalism? You have freedom of choice to choose any business you want, to choose any product you want, and that you shouldn't be compelled to take one or the other because market coercion doesn't exist. It's amazing how quickly they turn against the free market principles that they love so much in order to defend their genocidal state. This isn't even a blacklist. This is just letting you know who these companies are. The state isn't even sanctioning these people at all. They're just letting the public know they can choose not to go to these businesses, which is well within free market ideology. But let me guess, it's okay to blacklist Palestinians that are trying to feed their families. It's okay to put their name on a list so they can't travel in their own country to be able to work and provide for their families. That kind of blacklisting is certainly okay. It's okay to blacklist other Jews so they can't come to Israel and criticize Israel for what they do. I mean, they blacklist academics all the time for criticizing them. Dr. Abraham Weisfeld of the Bundist movement is a perfect example. He's pretty much blacklisted by them. He's blacklisted by the U.S. because he criticizes Israel too much. So Israel really loves their blacklists. But when anybody does it to them, and not even a blacklist, just letting them know, these are the companies that are operating illegally on Palestinian land, even though that's not what the UN is saying, even though that is what they're saying, that's going too far. Killing and starving out Palestinians, that's not persecution. But giving people the option of not buying from an Israeli company, well, that's just downright Nazism.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.